Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Critical Affection, where we affectionately criticize the pop culture that we love. And that is the second time in 2 weeks that I've hit the outro button when it was time to hit the intro button, but I don't think anybody noticed.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. It's been great. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.
Oh, for the love. I am having a night. So, I have to first get things set up here so that I can see comments on Facebook, because Restream has not been showing me all the comments.
Rude.
And Kyron's here already. Kyron said, "The Walking Dead, that's me before I have my morning brew of the blood of my enemies." Indeed.
I assume you mean coffee?
Probably. I mean, it's Kyron, so we can't really... That's...
I've never brewed blood.
Well, I mean, it's not impossible. Like, you've been to England, right?
I didn't say it was impossible. I just said I haven't done it. A lot of things I haven't done.
Anyway,
Incest,
so we have our special guest today is Braxton Cosby, and we're going to talk about your stuff here as soon as we stop talking about brewing blood. I need to pull up your website so we can have a look. And why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. My name is Braxton Cosby. I am the CEO of Cosby Media Productions, a small press book publishing company down here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm also the CEO of our comic book imprint, Star Child Comics. Since 2014, we have published over 30 authors with 60 titles in ebook, paperbacks, and hardcovers, as well as audiobooks as well. And Star Child Comics, we just brought out back in 2021 roughly, and we now have moved up to about 12 comics, some with second issues, and we have 2 compendiums, well, 3 graphic novels out as well. So what we've done is we've taken our publishing model to our own level of what we call hybrid publishing. So a lot of our stories may start out in novels, but it will continue in a comic or a graphic novel, or we may start the story as a prequel in a comic and continue the storytelling in a novel format. So you get a nice little mix up of platforms where you get to have something in a visual kind of showing with a comic book, and you might have something that's more, mental, where you're just reading, which is a novel. So you carry your own imagination into those stories and those worlds. So we're excited because we feel like we really offer a lot to those prospective readers and fans of, books and novels and stories. And we just feel like as a company, we are a storytelling company. So we have a good mix of new adult, fantasy. As you see, we have musical rap stories. We have science fiction, young adult, inspirational, even poetry. And we have a huge line of superhero stories that we've created, along with some nonfiction inspirational stuff. But our Cosby Media Production dedicated superhero universe is really what kind of jumped everything off, because we brought in 6 authors with over those years, we've created like 18 different novels of our own superhero universe. Infinity 7 is our kind of Avengers Assemble Justice League novel, and that story has over 17 superheroes in it, because we've crossed over. I co-wrote that with Keyshawn Dodds of the Menzuo Saga and Kaio Champion of the Majesties of Canaan. That's where we first officially crossed over and brought those heroes into Infinity 7. So that is books 1 and 2 that we have published so far. And we just continue to keep pushing. We have now added, I guess, roughly 6 comic books, actually 5 comic books to that superhero universe. So if people just want to check something out, they can easily jump into Keyshawn's Menzuo Saga, which offers 4 novels and a comic book. They could jump into my series, which is The Cape, which gives you 4 novels and 2 comic books, 2 issues. You could also look at Kaio Champion with his Majesties of Canaan, which gives you 2 novels and a comic book, or Daniel Payton with his Bark series that gives you 3 novels and a comic book, and even Lawrence St. John, who has 4 books of his Metatron series along with a comic book. And we just continue to keep moving forward. These authors have also continued to write, and we're now working closely with them on kind of fleshing out their next iterations of their comic books.
Very cool. Kyron says this sounds amazing.
Oh, thank you so much, Kyron. I appreciate it.
Agreed. Kyron also does some kick-ass comic book work.
Very cool.
I'm still waiting for more StarCore, Kyron. But I guess we've got some pretty cool stuff here from you to tide us over.
Yes.
For another
And
StarCore.
if we do have Walking Dead fans, obviously, with the topic tonight, I have written a dystopian fiction story called Broken, which is this young lady who you see behind you, the beautiful Kisa Donovan. You can imagine the year is 2035. All-out nuclear war has now left the planet decimated, with 70% of the population is dead. Those who survived have migrated to the coastlines for fresh water. And since the world is somewhat devastated, money no longer has any value, and the only currency that is viable is a human currency. So this one conglomerate corporation called the Establishment has now reenacted slavery, and it's a class-based system. So if you don't have any money, or if you don't have any power, pretty much, they now enslave you and they trade you for items. So Kisa is in Savannah, Georgia, down here with me, and she is a 16-year-old in one of these settlements that's a slave pod, and she has now become a surrogate parent to her little brother Kieran, who is 11 years old. But the unique thing about the ashes from the nuclear fallout is that if you ingest them, three things can happen to you. One, you can become an asher, which is basically the walking zombies that we have in this series that move fast, and they also follow one person, kind of like a hive mind. Or you can just go crazy, kind of like those Mad Max characters, or something you see in like a video game Borderlands. They kind of pillage the land for resources and take over and dominate people who are not able to defend themselves. Or you can also, 1% of the population actually gets secret gifts and talents unlocked, and we call them alphas. So they end up having like ESP and special talents. So that leaves our girl Kisa, who is now, as the story is unfolding and started unveiling and starting to realize that she may be one of these alphas that everybody is talking about. That makes her extra valuable to the Establishment and also to the Resistance, which is now trying to rally other survivors to the cause of overthrowing the Establishment and abolishing slavery. So that is book one of the series. It ended up becoming a 5-star book with readers' favorite. It was the Legacy American Book Awards finalist for dystopian fiction, and it was the highest ranking book for dystopian fiction with the best book fall book awards in 2023. Also, like I said, we're a hybrid publisher, right? So we have book two is the actual comic book. You guys can see it here. This is Kisa with a little dagger and the reflection of the three factions in here. You have the Ashers. You actually have the Establishment, kind of like the police officers, and you also see the Hoarders here in the middle. And this was a 24-page comic book that was the art was done by a very talented artist named Ram Silva, and my colorist is Luis Caballero, who is just fantastic. And you can see some of the artwork here on the pages. It's a very emotional story, but it also gave us a great opportunity to dive in and really tell more about the story and the history behind the Ashers and how they came about and how they operate. Now that one moves into book three, which is actually the 60-plus page graphic novel, which continues the story of Kisa's plight. And again, we use the same artist to capture everything here with Ram and Lewis doing the color. So very, very cool. This one just came out in December, and the paper quality that we use with our printer with Comics Wellspring is amazing. So I think people just get a very, very nice project when they buy our comic books. And this continues to just move forward with some of the mental health issues that Kisa is going through as a young teenager, being pulled out of her normal life, and now being bookended with this worldwide catastrophe, and also trying to find truth behind the disappearance of her father and mother. So yeah, those are out right now. Really, really got a great bit of storytelling in those books. So if people are into The Walking Dead or anything like that with zombies, I think they would really dig the story of Broken.
Yeah, I might have to grab that one because that sounds really good.
Oh, thank
Sounds
you.
incredible.
It sounds better than The Walking Dead for sure.
Honestly, yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I'll give credit where credit's due. The Walking Dead comic is great, but the book, the show, it was good, and then it got not so good, right?
Right.
Sounds like you're affectionate but critical.
Exactly. It's a
You're in the
theme,
right
right?
place.
It's a theme.
Mhm.
Kyron also said that his butler does a great blood brew with a nice froth of almond milk, which is
Oh.
way to
It's a
start your
sin
day.
to not use oat milk. Just saying.
Indeed.
It's my only
It is
criticism.
healthy because he used almond milk, though.
All
I mean,
I'm saying is oat milk is
For all
superior.
those, for all those lactose intolerant.
what is lactose? Yeah, he's got an allergy.
Oat milk, not goat milk, which still
Oat
doesn't
milk
have
is
the
good, too, though. I drink
protein.
both. I kind of switch back and forth.
I don't know. You know what? It is this. I live in a small city, right? But it's still a city. Bitch of a time finding any milk that isn't made from cows. Well, it doesn't come from cows. It's not made from cows, I guess. That's a weird way to say that. Leave me alone, okay? God.
hamburger milk.
Why you always be laughing at me about... Because I talk good. Okay. Kyron also said there's more StarCore coming soon, but been bogged down drawing everyone else's book, which I hear that.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. But I am excited for more StarCore. It's probably just as well that like I'll buy your book, Braxton, when I have money, and it's just as well that StarCore isn't coming out now because I have no money. There's no money. I'm gonna have to sell a kidney or something because there's no money. I don't need to.
Talk to Kieran's butler. It might be in the market for organ meat.
Yeah, Kyron, let me know. Cows have feelings too. I don't know, man. Have you ever been around a cow? They're kind of stupid. I'm okay. They have feelings, but like they're very simple feelings. Like, when's the next time I get to eat? I grew up on a dairy farm, so I know these things. Cows are. I mean, actually, I think that they would have world domination plans, and they would actively be enacting those plans right now, but they don't have thumbs, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on it, though. Cows are sinister. I'm just saying. Okay. Enough talk of cows. Let's stop my screen sharing here for a bit. We'll come back to that later. Last week we had some weird technical difficulties where, like, I was in the studio and Robbie was in the studio, but for some reason they were two different windows, and that didn't happen this week, so I hope Restream has fixed their problem. And we couldn't do a quiz last week, but we've got a quiz this week, so there will be a quiz. There will be prizes if somebody shows up to take the quiz. So, The Walking Dead. Opening thoughts, everybody? Comic and book. I guess we should probably cover a little bit of both. So, but opening thoughts. Braxton, you're the guest, so why don't you give me your opening thoughts? Give us all your thoughts.
I did thoroughly enjoy The Walking Dead up to the parts where I stopped looking at it. I think it was around season 6 is where I kind of checked out. Well, it was somewhere after Negan came in, and I just felt like they were dragging his character on, and I kind of wanted some resolution, and I was getting frustrated because I didn't see that happen. And I really felt it was because the actor was so compelling that I think they just wanted to keep him around. And then they ended up proving it right because he ended up getting this spin-off thing. Rather than just killing him off, which he should have been killed off. But I started kind of getting back Jones and Walking Dead again recently, so I started trying to get back into watching it. And I did end up checking out the spinoff with Michonne and Rick, The Ones Who Live. And it was 6 episodes, and they were fair. It did give me like my feel of Walking Dead. Not as much Walking Dead as I probably would have liked, but it was more like just kind of summarizing and closing out their little romance story. So it was cool. And I was thinking about getting into Fear the Walking Dead, but I kind of have to ease myself. I think I'm going to do the Daryl Dixon one first, just because all the characters who I'm familiar with, I'd rather see what they are doing. So I think I'm going to do his spinoff, and then I'll probably jump back into the Fear of Walking Dead.
Sure. I've heard good things-ish about Daryl Dixon, but I don't know if it's because everybody loves Norman Reedus so much right now, or if it's because it's really a good show. Because sometimes a good actor can carry a show even if the show is garbage. So I'm gonna withhold judgment, but I'm also kind of skeptical and also burned out on The Walking Dead still.
Yeah.
To be fair. What do you got for opening thoughts, Brian?
Also kind of my closing thoughts. I did not get far into The Walking Dead. I think I watched the first half of the first season, and just it didn't stick as something I wanted to continue watching. What I will say is that the scenario they set in the first season or so is what my brain goes to when I think of zombie apocalypse. And when I mentally put myself into like a creative state of trying like, I want a zombie story today, that's where I go. The problem, of course, is the Walking Dead kind of stopped being about zombies. And so I stopped watching.
That's fair. It started to be about shitty people instead of, undead people.
I don't want to watch about shitty people.
Kyron, I think we're talking about the 2000s Walking Dead because I didn't know there was an 80s Walking Dead comic.
What?
That doesn't make that I don't lose my comic creator card for that, do I? Because I was always upfront about the fact that I didn't get into comics until like 10 years ago. So you can't take my card away from me.
And is it good? Tell us.
The 80s one? Yeah, tell us.
That's what started it all.
Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah.
How about you, Sarah?
My opening thoughts are they started out like the very first episode of the very first season was just, anxiety and fear and like all the things you want from a zombie movie or a zombie show. Everything. And like I was with them for the first 4 seasons, and then I started to like stop being so concerned about missing it, and I think I was completely checked out by season 7. And they took really good material in the comics, and they messed with it too much, I think. But the first several seasons though, very good. And I think the casting was great. Mm-hmm. The sets were great. Although I do want to know who the hell was mowing all them lawns during the zombie apocalypse. Like there wasn't nearly enough overgrown grass for my taste. Like that was little nitpicky shit that I saw. That I'm like, why the zombies mowing the lawns? Is there a bunch of goats out there? What's going on? Iron says, you didn't know? Yeah, the 80s one is everything you envision in an 80s zombie comic book would be. It's not good. Well, now I want to read it. Maybe it's something I can get from the library or something. I don't want to spend money on it if you say it's not good, but I kind of want to read it. So, yeah. So about our okay, I do want to know this because there is a wide variety of answers to this question. Who's your favorite character of the entire series? The entire original series, I should say.
I really did like Rick's character, and of course he disappeared. So I really gravitated to Michonne. I thought she was cool. I was a big fan of Carol, just because her story arc was really good. She kind of went from this whimpering, very docile wife who was being abused by her husband, and then she just kind of eventually got her own thing going, and she became like this really smooth, like zombie assassin. So I like.
Yeah, she kind of turned into a badass, didn't she?
Mm-hmm. She was.
Yeah, I'm with you on Michonne. I think Michonne overall, but also Carol strikes a chord with women. I think, especially with women. I mean, with anybody who's had to deal with an abusive friend or family member or partner or whatever, like she I think she struck a chord with all those people. But I really like Michonne because she, especially because I know some of her backstory from the comics and stuff, and so hearing all that stuff, I do like Michonne a lot, and I should probably check out that spinoff of hers.
Yeah,
just
it
for that
was
alone.
solid. Yeah. And I think for both of them, I saw like a lot of the credits. Like I think them as just expanding their resume. So you saw their names as like producer. I think she directed one of the shows, Deny, and I know that both of them were executive producers on it too. So it's always nice to see those artists kind of get full control of an IP and start to really kind of put their stamp on it, seeing as though they've been involved with it for so long. I think it was really authentic.
Yeah, that's great. Um, what has the actress been doing since? I didn't look that up.
She was in the Black Panther, and obviously that translated for her being in like where the Black Panther was, like with Civil
Oh
War,
yeah, right, duh.
and
Yeah,
the Avengers stuff. Yeah.
isn't she in the Quiet Place too? Or am I
No,
am
that
I
was
crazy? Is that
that
the
was
other Black Panther?
that was the other one, Lupita Nyong'o.
There's two main actresses in the Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
It's Denai and
Lupita.
Denai. Yeah, so Lupita. And they're both such good actors though. I really enjoy both of them. And was it Lupita's character that was the one that kept saying "Be quiet, white boy" like that?
Yeah,
I was like, I should find that offensive or something as a white person, but I just laughed. It was so great. It was perfect.
I think that was Denai's character because Lupita was the one who had the romance with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This isn't about Black Panther, but we can do a show. You guys in the comments if you want to do a Black Panther show. I would love to do a Black Panther show because I really enjoy those. I enjoy sparring with certain family members about why the Black Panther's a good movie and why they need to shut up. All right. So, but we're talking about The Walking Dead today. So, because it's a zombie. Okay, Brian brought up a point. We were talking about it earlier about it's a zombie show that never uses the word zombie, which
Ticks me off.
why do they do that? Why do they do that? You can say the word. They're zombies. I don't know if that's there's a choice that was made that I didn't find the information about, but whatever. Because it's a zombie movie, though, you gotta have like what was there's the best zombie kills, right? And that was a thing that I think that Zombieland really drove home for us.
Right.
But do you have a favorite one in this show?
A favorite zombie kill?
Yeah.
I mean,
There were so many of them.
And they've gotten so many awards for their like animatronics with like, half-bodied, dismembered zombies and stuff like that. They've done a good job with it. So, I mean, there were a lot. I don't think there's just one. The ones that always made me laugh were like the ones where they drop something on them and it kind of goes splat, or they walk into like the fences that they built with the big spikes, and they would just kind of keep walking until they got ripped in half. I like the ones where they kind of self deprecate themselves rather than somebody else chopping their head off, because everybody does that.
Right. I remember a couple. I remember Andrea, and she got trapped in the little bathroom of the RV, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the old guy whose name I can't remember drops a screwdriver to her, and then she manages to overcome the zombie by stabbing it in the head with a screwdriver.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of like you were like very tense in there because you were like, surely she's gonna die, and then right at the last second. And there was also the nonchalance when they're at the prison and they're like, okay, there's too many zombies piling up on the fence, and we need to do something to thin out the zombie pile so that they don't break our fence. And so they're just like going in and you just put the ice pick against their head and then you hit it with the hammer. And it was so nonchalant. And I'm like, gross, but
Like
yeah.
a chore.
Right.
Yeah, it was like every morning somebody's got to go out and kill 20 zombies on the fence, right? Until the zombies are thinned out so they don't break our fence.
Right.
And yeah, like Brian, like you said, the show became less about zombies, so it wasn't very long that they were in the prison before it became obvious that the zombies weren't going to be the problem. It's a zombie show that's not about zombies.
And I think that was the draw to it initially. Is like, yeah, you're cool with the idea of zombies, but it was really about these characters, their story arcs, and then putting them in positions where they had to make these decisions over these, moral dilemmas. Do you do this to save yourself, to save other people? What's the greater good? Because there was always something real spooky about going out into the wild and running into another human who should be like, helping you. And you guys should be like, oh my God, I found somebody, let's do this together. But people are just so self-serving that you really put yourself in a bad position. And the question was, are you better with just the zombies or trying to find other people? And I think the people became the biggest threats.
Right.
Who's the real monster?
Well, after a while, especially down in the South, like the show begins in Atlanta, so you know that weather well, right? So you can tell us with some authority here. A dead body's not going to last that long in an Atlanta summer, right?
No, not even close. No, absolutely not.
And as somebody from the Great Frozen North, I can say that the second that the temperature goes below freezing, those zombies are no longer a threat. And then we're talking about freezer burn and stuff. Like, they're just, once they thaw out, they'll just fall apart if they try and move.
Right.
And that makes it actually deeply tragic when you think about it, because they're alive, but they're just stuck there. That's actually really sad.
Right.
I didn't think about that. I know that, but like, we don't actually ever really learn what the zombies are thinking and feeling beyond their hunger. So, like, what if they still have memories and stuff? That's
true.
Kyron says, this is back to the Black Panther thing. Martin Freeman said in an interview with the Black Panther director, called him and Andy Serkis Tolkien white guys. I mean, it's not wrong.
Because
they are both
the rings.
Yeah. Which, I haven't watched all of those either.
Oh, those are great.
I just have a problem with
sit down one afternoon and put them on.
For 11 hours or whatever it is. Like, that's a lot of popcorn, guys. Okay.
I would say this
Wake up.
The ones were good. The ones that came after that, I only liked the Desolation of Small, because then it kind of got a little crazy.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, someday I'm going to watch them. I know that they're good, but that day has not arrived yet, is all. I got time right now. I should just do it right now. But we're still trying to get through the rest of the John Wick movies. Like, we watched the first one a million years ago, and then I was like, I've never watched the rest of them, so we're trying to finish that, and then we can do Lord of the Rings. So, come back in like 6 weeks, and we'll talk.
Right.
But, yeah, so, Walking Dead. We're still talking about The Walking Dead. Like, that's the
Allegedly.
second. No, we brought up Black Panther and Lord of the Rings and John Wick, but Walking Dead's what we're supposed to be talking about.
I'm doing a terrible job of wrangling you.
It's a good thing we're not paying this guy. So, storylines. Now, so Braxton, did you read the comics as well, or just watch the show?
No, I did not. I actually jumped right in. My friend used to be a comic book fan of the series, so he told me when it was coming out, he's like, oh, you're about this show called Walking Dead. It's supposed to be about this. There's this comic I used to read, and I was like, okay, cool. And I just I didn't want to read the comics because I wasn't a real fan, and I wanted to just actually see what the show offered on its own, kind of bare bones. And when I saw the first episode, I was actually hooked when I got through it, so I just kind of started binging them. And they were good.
Good. Okay, so, I do recommend the comics. Now that the show is wrapped up, I doubt that... so I haven't watched any of the spin-offs, but I doubt that they're really pulling from the comics anymore, because, to be quite honest, they never really pulled a lot from the comics to begin with. They did do some of the storylines, and they mixed them up a little bit, which is fine. I have no problem with that, but I have a problem with how they just completely abandoned at some point all the good storyline material, all the good material that was in there, and they just kind of was like, oh, make it. And we didn't have a George R.R. Martin situation here where they had to make it up because it didn't exist. Those comics were already there. So that's a little frustrating. And they killed some characters that should have been around a lot longer in the comics. They kept some characters around that were dead much quicker.
Hmm.
Trying to think. So the only really good bad guys that stick out for me are like the only really memorable ones are the governor and and Negan. After that, I know there was like the the Whisperers,
Hmm.
and there was shit, but there was the guy with the tiger, and I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
remember
yeah,
if he was a good guy or a bad guy.
right, right.
I mean, he was an imposing figure. I don't even remember if he was a good guy or bad guy though, because I just didn't tune into the show when I was trying to watch it enough.
Hmm.
Ezekiel, that was his name.
Yeah.
And he had cool ass clothes, and he had cool ass hair, and he had like almost a throne, and he had a fucking tiger next to him, right? Like that's crazy.
Right, right.
But why? Why was that? Why did that exist in this show? How was a tiger alive for that to happen?
He was eating zombies.
I mean, I wouldn't want to feed my pet tiger rotting meat.
So he didn't exist in the comic?
I don't think so. I don't remember him being in the comics. I should probably Google that to double check, but
That sounds like an 80s zombie trope. Like that sounds like it's pulled right from the original. But maybe that's just me.
okay, so he is in the comics. I don't remember him in the comics.
What? Point
Ezekiel
for
is in.
Brian got it. He figured it out.
Oh, I don't
Case
know.
closed.
Cool. The very first picture they show you when you Google Ezekiel Walking Dead comics is a picture of his severed heads, though. So I'm gonna go ahead and guess that he doesn't make it.
Mm.
At least, I mean, definitely doesn't make it in the comics, but
Right.
but yeah, like I remember him being like his character, like the costuming and like the figure that he cuts in that show is really cool. But like I said, I genuinely can't even remember if he was a good guy or bad guy, and I must not have read all the damn comics because I don't remember him being in there at all.
I think from what I remember, because I think that's is when I started checking out with Ezekiel. For the most part, he seemed like he was a solid guy. I think he was a good guy. I think it was an ally, put it that way.
Okay.
In that show, you could have some evil people who were allies.
Hmm. Well, there's a point at which they work with the governor and with
Right.
Negan.
Right.
And Negan actually doesn't Negan. Is it Negan or the governor? One of them
It's
like
Negan.
saves Judith. I think it's Negan. Saves Rick's daughter,
Yep. I think it's Negan.
and it's nice that they write into that. Like we're strictly talking about the show here because clearly I don't know what the hell I'm talking about with the comics, but with the show they do write in ambiguity, and it's just like last week we talked about Castlevania, and it was very much a similar situation. Like there is no good guy or bad guy. I mean, Rick
Right.
was supposed to be the guy we were rooting for like 6 or 7 seasons or maybe longer, and he did some pretty heinous shit too.
Yeah.
So he wasn't a good guy. He was just like he was the protagonist, but he wasn't a good guy. He was a morally gray guy. And
I think that was how Negan was, because if Negan's almost like a Thanos. There's an underlying purpose to like a method to their madness, but it is considered madness to the majority of people when you sat down and thought about it. If you gave it some thought, you'd be like, well, I kind of see his point. Negan is about killing everybody who doesn't understand or who doesn't feel he can trust in order to gain his advantage, and he's going to do it for the people who are supporting him. So is he wrong? It just feels bad because he's going against people who we've already connected to. And in Thanos' situation, it's like, yeah, you guys have screwed up the universe. I'm going to go ahead and take out half and then just try it again. And then when that went bad, I'm just going to destroy the whole universe and just start from scratch.
yeah.
I kind of get it. I don't get it because that would require you killing me and my family.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. Just like
Right.
but and Negan, I don't remember how much they talk about him and the governors, how much they talk about their backstory, but both of them have a really sad backstory with the governor and his daughter, I believe, and then Negan and his wife.
Right.
That's why his baseball bat is named Lucille.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's very sad. Made them kind of lose their shit. Excuse to beat somebody's brains in just because you want to teach them a lesson or whatever.
Right.
I don't remember why. He like the very first season, the very first episode that we really see him, he kills two beloved characters. One more so than the other, as we know. There were so many people out there that when he killed Glenn, they were like, I'm not watching the show anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's how much everybody loved Glenn. Because Glenn was the only one that was so bitterly sarcastic to be funny in this apocalyptic world. Like the very first quote that I remember was him calling Rick a numbnuts or something. Because Rick rode the horse into downtown and alerted the zombies to his presence, and he was right near that store where they were all hunkered down looking for supplies. And then so like he was the one being a dick to Rick right at the beginning there, which was really funny.
Right.
In the midst of a very serious situation. But yeah, like so there were so many people that were so angry when that happened, and he'd already killed one guy. Why did he need to kill two?
The way he did it too. I mean, it was it was pretty brutal.
Gruesome. Yeah, gruesome. Yeah, he just picked Abraham at random. I think Abraham, big red-haired guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that Negan just picked him at random because he needed to teach a lesson to the group, the group that we follow, I guess. Again, like they all have different names throughout like the core group, and they all like they're always dying. Like Rick is the only one who doesn't. Well, Rick and Michonne and Daryl, I think, are the only ones that make it through the whole show, right?
Does Carol not make it? I would think I don't know why I would feel as if Carol would have made it.
I'm gonna Google it.
Because she was pretty resilient.
Is everybody ready for this? No, Carol does not die. According to the group, believes her to be dead in an episode, but she does not die. It looks like. Yeah. So. It's fine. It's fine. Carol's character was I really enjoyed the writing for her character in the first several seasons, and then after a while, there was at one point she was like an afterthought, and that was annoying because we had so much focus on everybody else, and we didn't have enough focus on like there were a few characters that they kind of just forgot about. But yeah, like she was one of them, and then all of a sudden. I feel like that her badass turn was kind of sudden too. There wasn't. Maybe I'm forgetting something. Maybe I'm blocking it out of my memory because
it was a pretty gradual one. They did a good job, but then I think by the time she started kind of doing it, everybody was really rooting for her because of the way they did it. She of all the characters in the book, she's probably. I mean, in the story that I saw on the TV show, not the comic. I think she was one of the best story arcs they had.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm forgetting how her story went, and like I said, I was unable to focus on enough of it, and just binge watching a show that's that dark and depressing is not a good idea. It really isn't. This is bad for your psyche, I think, and for your mental health.
Right.
She got did dirty a lot in the beginning though. Like first we meet her, and she's this meek little. Like slip of a woman, and then like she kind of allows her husband to get killed, doesn't she? She could have stopped it, but she didn't or something. I can't remember, but like she wasn't broken up when he died. That's for sure.
Absolutely not. She kind of cheered, silently, like a silent applause,
And then they carry on and they go stay at Herschel's farm for a while, and then she discovers that because they're looking for Sophia, and they kind of used Carol's daughter Sophia. They're using Herschel's place as a base for trying to find her, And then they find out she's been there all along because she's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a zombie in the barn. And that was probably one of the moments that got me. Like, I'm not somebody who cries easily, but like that one got me a little bit because it was like she had so much bad happen, and now she's finally free of her asshole husband, and she and her daughter can try and make a life of something of that they have, and only to find out that as soon as that happens, she no longer has her daughter anymore either.
Yeah, that was real powerful. I think that if you got that far, Brian, you would have liked the show. That was one of those things like they like tricked you. That was so powerful. I remember people just going like, "Oh my god!" Like I'm not even right anymore after seeing that scene. You know, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm. It was so sad.
That's why it got you. You kind of almost forgot. Remember?
Right. They were very sure they were gonna find her too. They were very sure she was gonna be okay. Even when it stopped making sense that she would be okay, because she was a little like 9-year-old girl out in the woods by herself. It didn't, but also it didn't exactly make sense to me that she ended up a zombie either.
Yeah.
So, but like it was so sad. It was so sad.
Yeah.
And in the comics, if I remember right, I'm gonna have to Google this because now I've already made an asshole of myself. But yeah, no, I'm right. Oh, I'm right once, you guys.
Right.
In the comics, she kind of goes crazy and lets a zombie bite her, and then they somebody else shoots her, I think, because like, wow. But they had in the comics they are trying they chain up a zombie to be like their test zombie, and they're going to see how long it takes the zombie to die. They're doing experiments on her, on the zombie, and Carol eventually starts to talk to that zombie, and then declares at one point that zombie's her only real friend and the only one who understands her, and eventually she lets the zombie kill her. She just goes crazy. And yeah, and I was like, that's such a dramatic difference between comic Carol and show Carol, because show Carol turns into one of the most beloved characters as she progresses through the story. And after what happened to show Carol, you wouldn't blame her if she had gone crazy.
Yeah.
She had so much trauma and from the abuse before the apocalypse happened, and then her husband was probably even to a certain degree worse when after the apocalypse happened, because she was stuck with her husband and didn't even get like brief respites when he was at work or anything like that. So it was probably even a little worse. And then he's gone, and then suddenly they spend a whole season, I think, looking for her daughter, only to find that she's gone too. And the scene where Daryl puts down Sophia was also very, like, the whole thing, you don't even have to watch the whole show. You don't have to watch everything leading up to that. If you watch that scene, it's probably going to get you, because you just see how horrible it is.
Yeah.
And then Daryl, I think it was Daryl, goes up and puts her down, because obviously Carol can't do it, and why would you ask her to do that either?
And they were very close, Carol and Daryl.
Yes. Yes.
Really cool.
I don't know if did they ever end up having like a romantic relationship? I don't remember. I don't think so.
I think they were more like brother and sister almost.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, they were just very, they had some kind of connection, because probably from abuse, because Daryl and Merle, who I kind of like, I hated him at the beginning, and then he was gone for a while, and I was like, kind of wish Merle, because like it got boring in the mid first season, kind of got boring. I was like, can Merle come back and be racist some more? Because like it sucked. He was an asshole, but at least it was interesting, right?
Right.
And it was interesting watching all the other characters deal with how shitty Merle was. And like, why was Merle so shitty and Daryl wasn't? They were raised by the same people, right?
Right. Well, sometimes it happens, you know. You have kids, and you can raise them the exact same way, and then they come out completely different people, you know.
That's fair. But yeah, like, Merle was awful, and we hated him, and we were so glad that he was gone for a while there. And then once he was gone, we were like, it was his shittiness that was making the show watchable. And after a while, we recognized that, and like, can he come back and be shitty some more? Because like his his worst attribute was clearly his racism. Like, he was very horribly racist,
Right.
and he was also extremely sexist. But he was way nicer to women than he was being to black people. Like, he was horrible to them.
Absolutely.
And it was, he was, and he kind of has a redemption arc, I know, but in the first season, before we even knew if the show was going to carry on, we were like, yeah, Merle sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went on to Guardians of the Galaxy, and now he's got all kinds of good stuff, so Merle's fine.
Right.
Quality
Actually,
actor, though.
he's not fine in Guardians either, is he? Not in the end.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Hero move, though, redemption arc, he has it in that one, too. I don't remember. I remember how Merle goes out, but I don't remember how he ended up where he was. But it was all very sad there too. Poor Daryl. I mean, poor Carol, poor Daryl, poor all of them. And they all had to be kind of shitty, but they all had to be kind of shitty, but they all had to be kind of morally gray. And it kind of begs the question, is that the way it really would be if we had an apocalypse? Would we really be that horrible to each other?
Well, we're this horrible now, so imagine if an apocalypse gets thrown in.
That's true. That's very true. I don't like it. It's like I know, like, the people around me that I choose to have around me, I'm like, well, they're fine. I like those people, but I hate most people that I meet, so, like, fair, I'd be one of the first ones to go, wouldn't I? And I also have, like, no survival skills. Yeah, I know I said I grew up on a farm, but that really doesn't translate well into a zombie situation. It doesn't. I mean, I guess if you give me a pitchfork, I might last a little while, but probably not more than a day. I'll be honest. So, what else? I can't think of anything else like that's really coming to my mind that we should address in this show. Do you guys have any particular situations that you're thinking about?
I think we caught a lot about Walking Dead. I mean, we pretty much talked that through.
Yeah, to be fair, it is a long show that should probably... What's that?
Brian, if you didn't look at Walking Dead, what were you looking at?
Whoa, what was I looking at?
What were you watching instead?
Everybody was watching Walking Dead. I mean, honestly, at some point.
That's true. That's true. Everybody was watching it.
That was water cooler talk right there. I mean, everybody watched Walking Dead.
You don't have to see Game of Thrones though, because
right,
you just on the internet and you know what happens in Game of Thrones. You don't need to watch it.
Much. Yeah, maybe that's why I didn't watch it, because I didn't have to. I could just catch it at work essentially and be like, "Oh, here's the recap." Brian, do you care if you hear spoilers? No.
Yeah.
I stopped watching like a chump.
I don't know. As long as I've known you, I've never known you to be a huge TV guy, though. So maybe that's all it was. He was too busy building stuff.
Yeah, it could be. Tell myself I was busy doing cool things.
Honestly, though, Walking Dead happened so long ago that maybe we weren't friends yet. I don't remember.
It's definitely over 10 years ago.
But I also don't remember how long I've been friends with Brian, so that's a problem right there. These are questions that need answering first. It's been a long time. Yeah, longer than I care to admit, because that means I'm old. It was only a few years ago, but now, nope. Now I'm old. All right, so. We got like 10 minutes left. Let's do our quiz, and then if we got people here for the quiz, I'm gonna pull it up. Just takes a minute. Yeah, there we go. Okay, everybody grab your phones. There's your code. play.lookit.com and then enter the code, or you can just scan the QR code there and get yourself into the game.
Are we supposed to play too or no?
You can play, yeah. You have to tell me though after if you win, you have to tell me if you want the prize or not though, because some people do not want the prize. No, Kyron probably went to supper already. I don't know though. I like to give everybody a couple minutes, but it's usually just us.
Brian, is that you?
That's me. We're gonna see if cows feel pain.
Oh, I think this cow is gonna feel some pain. I can only imagine how well you're gonna do here. Now, so if you paid attention to the general, you know, while it was out and while everybody was talking about it, you might be able to get some of these questions right.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I see some people watching, but I don't know if they're gonna come in. So
Hopefully the people in the chat know that they are welcome to play.
yes, everybody's welcome to play. And if you win, where's my little sticker? Why'd I put it over here? I can't reach over here. This is just a couple of them. I've got a Power Broker sticker. Ooh, that is not good. Power Broker sticker. That's a, Madame Duvray chibi. And I've got a hollow avocado. You can't see the hollow, can you?
Yeah.
I've got a
from the angle.
Agents of Geekdom sticker. Let's see. I had a button here too, but where the hell did my sample button go? Damn it. Anyway, I've got an avocado button. I can send an avocado button. That's a little bit more expensive to send than a sticker, but I got some. Just a little. Fine. Everything's fine. We're fine. Also, other stickers that I'm working on, so hopefully I'll have more stickers in the coming weeks, but... And I had a metal trading card, too, that I have. I don't know where the hell that is, but... So, if you are gonna play, and if you win, you need to send me a private message, and then I will show you pictures of everything that I have, so, like, I have more stuff than is in my random little pile here. Because I have a very messy desk. This all looks fine behind me because of carefully curated camera angles. But in reality, I have about this much space that I'm right here. That's about how much space I've got to do stuff on my desk. The rest of it is covered with garbage.
And I'm in a clothes closet to dampen the sound.
There you go.
So, also camera angles.
Alright, we're gonna give you guys like 30 more seconds and then we're gonna start this quiz.
No, we're just gonna
I'm gonna make you suffer through it because I had to do some creative stuff here to verify that my answers were right. Because I did not manage to finish everything. So, usually when I write the quiz, I can verify because I've actually watched the show. But I had to verify every answer with multiple sources. And I did this for you! I don't think anybody else is joining. Let's start. Who does Negan save during the storm? We actually talked about this one.
Did mine start? Oh.
I hope so.
No, it didn't.
On your phone?
Yeah, it kicked me out. I thought. Oh, I have to put an ID in the game ID. What's the game ID?
Oh no!
I thought you were there.
It that's what I'm saying. It's like it
disconnected you. You know what? Let's kill this one and restart. Since you guys are the only ones in here anyway, we'll just start a new one. It'll only take a second, probably. Always with the incredibly loud music, too. Okay. Pop the new code back in there quick, and then we'll play as soon as you two are in, since you were the two that were actually going to play.
064930.
I have no idea how you change the avatar, the little animal avatar, but I know you can. Oh, that's a freaky one. The cow, of course. Alright. Let's start now. If I can get my mouse. There it is. The governor tells the Woodbury citizens they were betrayed by who?
Braxton is gonna mop the floor with
Oh,
me.
I'm random. I even got that one wrong. You probably got it right just by guessing.
Somebody got it right.
Nope.
Okay, it's broken. Well, that was weird. It just didn't give...
It's still giving us questions.
Yeah, whatever. Where did Daryl Dixon wash up? I think this was one of the very last things that happened. Oh, so you were wrong.
This is a hard quiz.
Well, I imagine it would be if you haven't watched the show.
I'm basing this on
Wow.
Braxton getting them wrong.
I'm gonna have to send you guys stickers just because.
I haven't seen this in so
Hey, if we all
long.
get 0.
Yeah, and there's just so much that goes on. See, this is my other argument for not doing more than 2 seasons per, if I not covering more than 2 seasons in a stream, because that's too many. It's too much stuff.
I got it.
Oh wow, you guys.
I know. We're stinking up the joint.
Again, I didn't know. I would have probably gotten 2 of these questions right in the end. I did not know, but I've never seen what it looks like when there's nobody getting right answers. And this one is a dumb one.
Oh gosh.
That one right!
We're on the board.
You're not gonna be totally shut out.
How did you get more points? You got
And he answered it faster, yeah.
Speed is my name.
And it was a total guess, I'm assuming. Who does Rick first recognize when he reaches the camp outside of Atlanta? On the very first season. Probably the second or third episode, too. Somebody got it right. Brian. And now Braxton's just shot way past you.
Yeah. I think it's going to stay that way.
That's fair. Who kills Alpha?
Oh, no.
You got it.
You guessed that? You
Yeah.
guessed that right? What the hell?
I'm a good test taker.
See, it's a good thing that they give answers points based on how fast you answer. Who does Negan save during the storm? We talked about this one.
It was a 50-50 toss-up.
And we talked about it. We talked about it and you still got it wrong.
Yeah.
Who is the first of the group to be killed by Negan? We talked about this one too, Brian! You can do it!
I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
I don't recognize that name.
Neither one of you got it right.
You got it.
It was Abraham. It was the big red-haired guy.
They didn't give it to you? I thought you
And then-
chose him.
No?
No, both of you got it wrong. And then he killed Glenn because he mouthed off to him, I think. Who accidentally drops Merle's handcuff key and then leaves him for the walkers in the very first season? No, you guys.
Who's T-Dog?
I don't even remember. See, that's how bad they are. These characters, especially in the beginning, just super forgettable. I don't know. I don't remember his name. I don't remember his full name. I don't know why they called him T-Dog, but I think they explained why they called him T-Dog. What's the name of Maggie's son? Do you even remember who Maggie is?
my only chances to answer quickly.
He's got it right. We both
Yeah.
got that one right. Are you guys like copying off each other or something? So you either are both getting it wrong or both getting it right.
Yay, Brian got it.
I don't care for that loud trumpeting sound that it makes.
You get the
Very
sticker.
loud. What's that?
He gets the sticker.
He gets a stick. He's gotten a lot of stickers since we started the sticker thing. I'm just like
Deliver 'em.
collecting them all, and I'll just deliver them the next time we send you a care package of stickers.
Yes. The whole background will just be victory stickers.
So many stickers. Well, that was fun.
This was fun. Thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you. Do you want to
Thanks
give
for
us
coming.
one more little spiel about your company, about what you got to offer?
Sure. So like I said, we're a hybrid publisher, so we actually have comics and novels. If you guys go to the website, I would suggest you start with Star Child Comics, and the online store has all of our comics to buy. And then you can kind of work yourself back from there to see if there's actually novels that are connected to those comics. We also have audiobooks. I think people dig audiobooks, so they get a chance to hear most of our stories if they don't have time to read. Some of our editor's choice and fan favorites are on there, so you guys can take a peek at them. But if you're looking for something real different, some stories that are very unique, I think we have some really talented artists who do our work for us. I think we have some very talented authors with some with unique gifts of storytelling. But I may be biased, you never know. But either way, we're always got something going on. We got some stuff doing. If you guys ever look into the press and announcements in the news feed, you can see some of the stuff that we have and where we'll be popping up next, maybe at a convention or a city near you.
Exciting. So I'm definitely gonna go check out a couple of these. I think I have my eye on now.
Very cool.
And very excited. Thank you so much for joining us. And this was a weird one. It was a weird one because only a couple of us watched the show, and I could tell it's been a while for the both of us.
Right, it has.
But that's okay. Next week, we're actually doing the crossover series with Ed Davis and his music show, which is called First something. Sorry, Ed. I didn't mean to forget the name of your show. Anyway, we're going to do Wicked. And so Ed and Dash are coming on to Critical Affection on Monday. And then I'm going to go on to their show on Wednesday. And I don't know if Brian's coming with me. It depends on whether or not he watched his Wicked in time. I think.
Get on that.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
That's on Monday. So yeah, it's just a little bit more time now. And then we're gonna be doing, after that, we've got Ghosts, the CBS and the BBC one we could do. We've got, what else is coming up? We've got For All Mankind is on the list. We've got a cosplay episode. We're just gonna talk about cosplay. That'll be fun. What else? There's a bunch of stuff. If you go to YouTube and check out Agents of Geekdom, you'll find all of the stuff because I post it all like a month in advance. So not really a lot of excuse for you to not know what I'm doing next week because I've got a month's worth of stuff posted. So anyway, thank you all for joining us. And if you have any questions for Braxton, please put them in the comments. I will see them even after the show goes offline, and I will pass them along, and you will hopefully get an answer. I don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work. So definitely comments, questions, anything. If you got mean things to say, maybe don't say them there because I am a very sensitive person and you will hurt my feelings and I will cry. And you don't want to be responsible for that, do you?
And then I'll have to make Sarah feel better.
Yes, it's just not, you don't want to do that.
Just kidding, I'll make Jeff do it.
Anyway, okay. Thank you so much and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.